Hello and welcome to another episode of Four Tims and a Podcast. You join us on Tuesday, I'm going to guess it's the 15th of March. Last night, Celtic were up at Tannadice in the quarter-final of the Scottish Cup, and they demolished Dundee United, really. A 3-0 win. Giacomakis got a double, and the other was scored by Callum McGregor. Fuck me, I'm having a terrible start to this. Andy, just firstly, what was your thoughts on the performance? Cup ties, it's all about just getting into the next round, but fairly comfortable.
I would certainly say so. Like you say, it was cup games. You've always got that risk, no matter how you're playing or anything like that. It's just a one-off tie. Teams are up for it. They were certainly the exception to that, but we started really, really well. You get that goal for McGregor, really well worked set piece. Obviously something they've been working on. Fans are usually sort of quick to groan sometimes with them trying something for a corner, but obviously they've done it in training. Which came after, takes a wee nick, don't get me wrong, but sometimes you need that. So we played really, really well. Across the team, and we were just talking about it half a second ago, as you said, Tony O'Reilly, thought he had a really good game. McGregor, good game. Hatate was back to having a good game, bar that one tackle. Other than that, I thought he was sort of looking pretty good again. Giacomakis, as he always does, he works his arse off, and he's got that one-touch finish in him. He always just seems to be sort of the right place at the right time, getting his toe to a couple. So really, really good to see that. We could have had a couple more if the ref knew the rules and Maeda sort of tapping. But it's good to see. Good to see a good performance, and obviously it's another clean sheet, Tony, which is massive. They don't think they threatened too much. Off the top of my head, I can think of maybe one chance, if I'm not mistaken, but Hart didn't really have too much today in that aspect. But then again, even a half time, I think the half time change was probably not a bad one. We were dominating a lot of the ball. Tati was on a booking. You've got the squad to sort of rotate. You can make your 5 subs, and obviously pay dividends, because Rogic was on at half time, and I think maybe 10 to 15 minutes into the second half, Giacomakis has got his second, or his first rather. So good substitution. Of the boys that came on after Rogic, I think it was McCarthy, Dembele, Johnston, and Idiguchi as well, actually. But I thought Dembele was the most lively. Obviously, it's his sort of run through, but I thought he's looking. He wasn't sort of you don't see his name headline in a paper, but I thought he was looking sort of inspiring. He's trying to make things happen. I think I read somewhere that was his longest sort of appearance in a Celtic first team shirt in a competitive game since something like 2-3 years. So that's obviously massive, and it tells you the story about injuries and various things like that. But it's good to see him getting more game time and looking lively, trying to make things happen. But all in all, Tony, I was really happy with the result, really happy with the performance. Just it gives me all the confidence that this team can probably do the unthinkable at the start of the season and go all the way. But one game at a time, every game's a cup final, and just keep it going.
Absolutely. It's the news kind of is quite Rodgers-esque in terms of either you're playing really well and getting results, or playing not so great but still getting the results. I actually thought we were good yesterday. I enjoyed the game, but I thought we were getting so many good kind of counter-attacking positions. Just the passing was off slightly. That might be due to the pitch, which was a fucking cowfield. I thought the United were atrocious. It's one of the worst teams I've seen against us, and they have genuinely gave us hard games this season. Twice at Parkhead, they were quite difficult, but I thought they were woefully bad. But I thought when we were going forward, we were cutting them apart. I thought O'Reilly looked brilliant. Some of his touches were excellent. Hatate, I thought started well, and then I thought he should have been sent off. I thought that was a red card. I thought it was a really stupid tackle, especially with John Beaton being the ref. I think his studs are up. I think he does catch a boy. I'll bring in Danny because I know you completely disagree with me.
I don't think it was a red card. I think it was a booking, but I do think it was extremely foolish for Abada, Effie, Hattati, sorry, to do it. I thought it was a really silly. You could see it happening for about 20 yards. It was powering down the line. But I didn't think he touched the boy. I didn't think it was a red card. The booking was a fair decision, I would have said, and the ref got it right. I just thought we said about Dundee United last night for the first whistle. Completely professional. Could have. I mean, I was thinking it was going to be like a kind of 4-3 classic, but both teams are going right at it. But Dundee United came out and tried to kind of set their game, but we just decided that it was our night, and you know what, we're hitting the groove again right at the right time. We had a wee lull. Well, we weren't hitting the heights, but we're still getting the wins. And last night was free going on. I know we had a goal disallowed, whether it should have stood or no is up for debate. I mean, it's a on-ball led to a goal. I know the rules have changed with the on-balls, so probably should have got that goal. I thought we could have that penalty at one point as well. But it was free going on 6 or 7, and I think if Dundee United would have scored and got back into the game at any point, we'd have just thought the Pants scored. We were that good last night, and every player's contributing again. I know it's going to sound like a broken record, but I thought Greg Taylor was brilliant last night, up and down the line, 90 minutes, just doesn't stop. Adds so much balance to the team, and we miss Taylor when he's not there. You see it when he's not in the team. They lack a lot of balance, and I thought he was brilliant last night. I agree with Andy. I thought Hattati played quite well. Aside for that tackle, Jackie Marcus is just what we've been missing for the last, 20 year, 15 year. A striker that plants himself in the box, gets on the end of things, and just really, really good. I thought O'Reilly had a great game as well. Tony, I know you picked him up as well. I thought he was brilliant. And it was just a really good performance for most of the team. And now you look forward to a semi-final draw that was made after the game that was pretty exciting.
Aye, Dan, will come to that. I mean, the draw for me, I wasn't really first two we go. If you're going to win the cup, it's very likely you'll probably need to play Rangers at some point. We've got them in the semi-final. Looks as though April will probably play them 3 times, 3 different venues. It is an exciting prospect, but for me, I loved Angie's reaction to it, where he says you've got Rangers in the semi-final. How do you feel? Just like we're in the semi-final. That seems to be all he cares about. He is the calm head in the middle of absolute madness that is going to be the next 2 months of football. What do you make of the draw and obviously the performance last night?
I thought we were decent enough last night. I didn't think we were spectacular, but when you're missing guys like Abada and Jota, I think I seen a stat today that said that with Jota, Abada, Kyogo and Turnbull been out the team, they've scored 49 or 101 goals they've scored this season. I seen somebody on Twitter tweet that. I can't mind who it was, so credit to whoever that was. So with they 4 guys at the team, I think it was just really, it said a lot about the players that were there, that they were able to go to a place like Tannadice and win 3-0. And you've seen winning at Tannadice isn't for everybody this season. And in a cup game, it's that sort of, you've got that danger that it's a one-off game, and if you don't turn up, then there's every chance you could be put out. But we managed the game extremely well. I thought we started both halves very well. Got the goal in the first 15 minutes of the first half. I know it came from a short corner, but that's now 2 weeks in a row we've got a goal. The opening goal especially, that came from a set piece, which we were getting a lot of criticism for in the weeks before that. So as just mentioned, like Cal McGregor's shot obviously takes a big deflection. It takes it away from Benjamin Siegrist, who I think, I don't know if that was just sort of variance catching up with him last night, because he usually has a superb game against us. So the fact he was a bit off form was probably, we'll probably do that, because in the games that he has performed well against us, he's just been in front of most things that we've tried to put by him. I liked the midfield. I thought that they did start well. Hattati, I thought the first 20 minutes he was excellent, and it was good to see. And on the tackle, I think that it's one that with somebody like John Beaton, you wouldn't be surprised if he had pulled out a red card, but I don't think it's the worst tackle I've ever seen. But as I say, I don't think we would have won an appeal if it had been a straight red. And especially with some of the decisions in the cup at the weekend. Like I watched the Motherwell Hibs game on Sunday, and like the red card that was in the first 60 seconds of that game was quite a baffling decision. So I think it's just, I don't think it's any massive great conspiracy. I think it's just the refereeing standard in Scotland is absolutely terrible, and the goal that Maeda has disallowed in the first half as well, it's such a harsh handball that's given against Georgios Giakoumakis, and like I know it will hopefully have VAR in about a year or whatever, however long it's going to take, but I think the goal would have stood if we did the VAR, and we don't have it at the moment, but if we did, then I think that although we've not got it, we should have had some sort of consistency. If he's going to penalise Giakoumakis for that, then Celtic should have had a penalty in the second half when it hit a Dundee United hand in a sort of similar type of fashion. But as I said, we got the first goal in the first 15 minutes of the first half, and then the second goal in the first 15 minutes of the second half, which sort of killed the game, I thought, and really put a dampener on Dundee United. I know they were missing guys like Tony Watt, but I thought it sort of just it sort of stopped them from getting back in the game, the fact that we scored so soon after the second half. But no, I thought we were really good. Matt O'Reilly again, I know it was another good performance, and he's been rewarded today with a call up for the Denmark under-21s, which is good to see. And I thought both full-backs last night were very good, especially with the two wingers missing. I thought that Taylor and Juranovic were very good and really did help us. I think Danny used the word balance. I think that's just spot on, really, too. I think they do give us a real balance, especially with what Andrew's trying to achieve. And as you say, on to the draw, there was every chance we were going to get them, and you were most likely going to play them in the semi-final or the final if we got there. But I know, obviously, they capitulated against Hibs in the League Cup semi, so the fact that we've got them in the semi, I'm not that bothered with it. I think it's about it'll really show us where we are, because if you think back to 12 months before, they put us out in the Scottish Cup 5th round, I think it was at Ibrox, and that pretty much finished their season. Whereas, and I know they're still in Europe, but you mentioned it, Tony, we're going to play them 3 times in April most likely, and if they get put out of Europe, then there's every chance that if we win the 3 games, it'll pretty much end their season as well. So I think it just shows how far we've come from where we were when we last played them in the Scottish Cup. But it's definitely one to look forward to, and I just give a lot of credit to the players. As I say, they were missing over half of the goals that had been scored by guys like Jota, Abada, Turnbull and Kyogo, so massive credit to him. I don't think we could have asked for much more last night.
I think you forget that the front 3 isn't our starting team. Our starting lineup, if everybody's fit, I believe would be Jota, Kyogo and Abada. But credit to the guys that came in. I thought they were good. I thought Forrest wasn't as good as he was the week before, but that wasn't a massive surprise. I mean, I really like Maeda. I know he gets stuck, and I just think the guy's work rate's exceptional. There was one pressed a guy. I don't know if he won a throw or they were on a kind of dangerous counter attack, but his pressing just stopped it. Even when he's I think his pace going forward's excellent, but his defensive work rate's fantastic as well. He's going to be an asset for us, and he gets goals. He, as you see, he gets a perfectly good goal disallowed. I think the ref genuinely doesn't know the rules. That's I think the referees in Scotland are that bad. Again, I don't think it's a conspiracy. I just think just utter shite. Just really, really bad. It's a shame how bad they are. Hopefully VAR in for the start of next season. I know there's some people that think we would be second bottom if VAR come in, but of course these people are crackpots. So, I'm looking forward to the game against Ross County the weekend as well. If Jota and Abad are fit, you would think they would come back through. Danny, just take it back to kind of December time. We had Ben Doak playing, who was really young. No, was it Ben Doak? Who was the boy? Come on, it wasn't Ben Doak. It was a Dawson playing against St Johnstone. We didn't have much of a squad. How important is it with this time in the season? We've got 9 games minimum left 10 games max. How important is it that we utilise the squad? That might be wrong. Is it? 8 games in the league, 2 in the cup. How important is it we utilise the squad and we've got the likes of Turnbull and Kyogo coming back?
It's not as important as it was back then. I think the way the games are spaced, I think we only play 4 times in the next 5 weeks or something. So, like that was it. I mean, that was the first time with 8 days rest between last Sunday and last night. And I think that was the first time that had happened since well before, like obviously the winter break. But if you take that out, I think it was the first time that had happened since the last international break in November. So it's more important to get Turnbull and Kyogo back. I think people are questioning whether Turnbull was an important part of the team and whether we would miss him if he wasn't there. And there were rumours about people like Hatate and Ideguchi and all that coming in, and people were saying, oh, when they came in, that's Turnbull at the team. Only get more people talking that because of Hatate's recent first couple of performances where he looked like an absolute world beater. I think he's levelled out a wee bit now. I still think he's a very good player. I think he contributes an awful lot to the team. But I think you do miss Turnbull at times. You miss him getting into the box. I know his set pieces weren't great, but his set pieces are a lot better than what usual what we get put into the box. And he just misses energy. I know he looks a wee bit slow and laboured at times, but I think he do miss his energy. I think he was coming right onto a game before he got injured as well, which is disappointing. And Kyogo's Kyogo. I mean, he's probably the best player that we've got. Certainly he's got that something special about him, Kyogo. It's kind of Larson-esque where, like that cup final, like nobody else in our team scores 2 goals. Like he pulls us out trouble sometimes. Like even the goals he scores away from home in Europe that Ferenc Varos, like his wee touch and finish, his goal in Alkmaar. I know it was much a tap-in, but these are goals only he scores, and we've missed them. We've missed him an awful lot, even though that's 30 games unbeaten now this season since Livingston beat us in October. And I know he's not been part of a lot of them, but you just miss him. You miss his energy, you miss his buzz. He makes things happen for us, and if we can get him fit for the last couple of games of the season, then we're only going to be in an even stronger position than we're in now. I think just keep Saturday's absolutely huge. To win. If we win on Saturday, it means that we're top of the league no matter what happens at Ibrox, which is a psychological boost for us. And you can look forward to like April, which is shaping up to be, what we keep saying every month. We keep saying it's shaping up to be a defining month for the season, and then the next one comes along and it's even more important. So it's what to play for and it's exciting, but I think it's more important that we get they 2 back rather than keeping players happy. Don't get me wrong, I think Andrew's still kind of rotate a wee bit, but I think over the course of it's great to see, but I think maybe over the next 2 months you might see maybe 15, 16. I know he's got 5 subs and he can play 16 players during the game, but maybe you'll see the same kind of 16 to 18 players for the rest of the season. It's good that we've got them, but I think he'll stick with his tried and trusted to start with. He'll rotate the midfield because that's what he seems to do, but I'm really looking forward to it. I just hope Kyogo and Turnbull are fit, because I think if we can get them 2 back, Kyogo especially, I think that could push us over the line when it comes to winning stuff.
I think if you can even get Kyogo back for the split and hopefully the semi-final, look, if he's back for Ibrox, happy days. But it's just such an exciting part of the season. Nothing's won, far from it. As you say, Saturday for us is an opportunity to win, to go essentially 7 clear with the goal difference. The only issue is they played Dundee, who are absolutely atrocious, with probably the worst manager in the league the day after, which means the chances of them dropping points despite being away beforehand are slim to none. But as you say,
Tony, it's a tougher game when you're 6 behind.
Oh, of course, we have a bit more pressure, but they're a terrible team with a ridiculous manager, so I really can't see anything dropping points. But all we can do is try and apply that pressure. And as you say, if they win and we win, we go to Ibrox 3 clear. I think hopefully the goal difference is still around 11, or it's maybe grown. And you go there and look, Big Ange will go there to win. Big Ange could be going to the Etihad and he would set us out to try and go and play and win. So it's an exciting couple of weeks ahead. There's daft internationals in between, which is unfortunate, but because it's friendly, Scotland are playing, you can't imagine of any hard tackles. You'd like to think the chances injuries are lowered. Anybody get anything to add before we go to the predictions for the Ross County game?
I think it's a tougher game than it looks on paper. I know at home we've been pretty good, but Ross County are on a decent run at the moment. They've obviously got top scorer in the league. But it was only a few weeks ago they were sort of round about the bottom teams, but they're right up there like that. Sort of from I think about 4th to 10th was really tight. And like one of the highlights of the season so far was Anthony Ralston's last minute winner up at Ross County. So I think we're in for a tough game. And I know what you're saying about the international breaking that, Tony, but I actually think having these games a bit spaced out and in the weeks to come as well, where I think was it Danny said we play sort of 5 times in 4 weeks or something. I think that'll sort of settle us. No, even in terms of getting bodies back, but just in terms of not really panicking about it. And I agree about somebody was talking about Maeda. I thought we played a lot more to his strengths and trying to put the ball over the Dundee United defence last night for him. And I know we'll come on to predictions, but I just thought Jackie Marcus again. Tony, I don't know what you thought of him. I thought that's now 9 goals, is it? And pretty sure all of them have been it's been one-touch finishes. I think he's just, yet again, wasn't spectacular last night, but was in the right space at the right time on 2 occasions last night to get both goals.
I like Giakoumakis. I've seen him again getting a bit of stick in social media about his hold-up play and stuff off the ball. And I think sometimes he does look quite untidy, but I mean, his first goal, he takes a gamble, he gets in and he gets his reward. I mean, 99 times out of 100, you're getting nothing for even going near the ball there, but he takes a gamble and gets there. And then, I mean, the third goal's a scrappy goal, but he's in about it. He's a strong big guy and he gets the touch that the Celtic goes in after Karamoko's shot. I probably wanted to touch on that, actually. I was delighted to see Dembele come on. I'm utterly convinced there's a player there. I think he wants to be here or he wouldn't be playing, which is exciting. I would like to see him, regardless how he goes at the end of the season or how it finishes, I'd like to see him offered a new deal to see what he can do. I think Postecoglou said he was excited to see Dembele come in, and now obviously he's given him some appearances, obviously not much time, but you can see he was desperate to score, which was unlucky. I was also a bit surprised to see Mikey Johnson come back. Again, can't really judge him. I mean, the manager obviously thinks there's a player there. I don't know if there's any fans that do, but you never know. We'll see how it goes. You going to say something, Danny?
No, I was just going to say, sorry. I've just got to say, I think Ange is a big fan of Mikey Johnson. Sorry, I'm all choked up here. I think Ange is a big fan of Mikey Johnson. I think he trusts him. I think when we won the League Cup, when Johnson came in down to the bench to celebrate, he kind of had a word in his ear. And Johnson's, like you say, I don't think there's many Celtic fans that have got odd new hope for Johnson. I think there's a player there. I think he's got tremendous skill. I think he's got a lot of. I just think he's even going through some sort of confidence crisis now, and I really feel for him. And I thought last night he just carried it right. And there was one there, was at the last minute where we broke through, and he could have held it for like a second, and then he's got a pass down the line, and he tried to play the ball. I think he tried to play it first time, back kind of left, made an arse it. But I just hope something good goes for Mikey soon. But I think alone away would do him the world of good. Probably down to like a championship in England or something, because I think he's got a skill to play down there. I don't think we should be entertaining sending him to like a team in the league. I know Aberdeen were interested in January, but I would put him down to England and let him kind of shine down there for a bit. I think there's a player there. I just hope it's at Celtic. It might not be. But like you, Tony, delighted to see Dembele and the team. I get a lot of high hopes from him. Like you, I think there's a player there. And I love how direct he is. Just that goal, the third goal last night was all down to him just running at the guy, having a shot, and he got, we got what he deserved with a bit of luck, and Jackie Mackis got on the end of it. Dan, I'm just thinking, has every one of Jackie Mackis' goals been one-touch finishes?
I'm pretty sure it has. I need to watch him back, but I can't think of any that haven't been.
Aye. That's some. I mean, I know he's only got 9 in 21 games, but that's some record. That's 9 goals and 9 touches. That's got to be. I mean, that's bodes well for the future. And obviously last night, the people were saying, it's Kyogo, no get back in the team. I think everybody knows Kyogo's the main man, and when he's fit, he'll be in the team. But how can him and Giakoumakis not play together? How can Giakoumakis no hold the ball up for Maeda and Kyogo in games either side the way he does for Abada and Jota? It's not a problem to have so many good players. It's a really good thing to have, and I'm really excited about this Celtic squad.
Oh, we've definitely got the ability to mix it up. I mean, he played Kyogo left side the last time we were at Ibrox. Don't get me wrong, I don't think Kyogo should ever play there. And I mean, that's the thing. We've now got Abada, Maeda, Jota, Giakoumakis, Kyogo is the kind of your first pick for the front five. And then you get the likes of Forrest, Johnson, Dembele. So there's a lot of options there. Andy, what did you think of Dembele? Obviously only a cameo appearance. I don't know if he get credited with an assist for his kind of deflected shot that fell with Giakoumakis, but really speedy. His movement was good when Rogic laid off that wee pass to him. As Danny says, he's very direct. He just wants to run at players, which is what you want to see. I think that'll frighten players in Scotland.
Like you say, it's hard to obviously sit and wax lyrical about somebody who played the best part of 15 minutes, but he's wanting to go on the ball, he's wanting to make things happen. Even the goal, the Giakoumakis, the third one, that comes for just Dembele getting on the ball, facing up the defender, and then there's he got in a shooting position. He was thinking, I'm having a shot here. I believe it's confident in his ability. He's just eager to get on the ball and make things happen. And I think, like you said earlier, the fact that Postecoglou's playing him and still bringing him off the bench says a lot. It's obviously a conversation that they've had, and that goes after even stuff the manager said in the past about players wanting to be here. And I think it'll only be good for them. And it's more competition for places out in the wide areas. But I think I've got to agree. I think there is a player there. I think obviously his development was stunted for long periods, to be honest. And when he was sort of 14, 15, 16, he was the next big thing. But he can still make one hell of a career. He's still a very young boy. You forget because he's only 19-year-old, but you forget because you feel as if his name's been mentioned for fucking the last 10 years. But he's got so much time to fucking improve and become a better football player, and a manager like Postecoglou will help you do that. And even daft things, Tony lost the ball at one point, and he had that willingness to just bust his ass back the way. And it's something you see for players. Jota does it, Abada does it as well at times, and it's so positive. It's not just a sort of selfish way of getting about their business. They're bought into what the manager's sort of implementing. They're bought into the way that we want to play, and it'll only benefit them. But I'm excited. I don't think that I'd be surprised if he really started any games. I think they're too big. And like you said, I mean the sort of three across the front line that played aren't even a starting three, so he's probably sort of third in that pecking order. But I think we will be seeing him off the bench. Ideally, we get a game where we are sort of 3-0 up at half time or a bit earlier on in the game, and the game's sort of dead and buried, and you can get him on for a full 45 or something like that. But I'm excited for the future of Dembele as well. I think he obviously wants to be here. Hopefully there's a contract extension, and the manager can get the best out of him.
I was running out of things to talk about 10 minutes ago, but now I'm kind of ready to go. Now, he is one of the players, like, even if you're struggling with half an hour to go, if he comes on to Celtic Park, I think it gives the fans a lift, because he is such an exciting player, same way Jota is. obviously having a bad out, but Big Ange says he'll be back for Saturday, which is a huge relief. You don't want them to be out for any length of time. And mentioning Jota brings me on nicely to Football Prizes' newest product, which is a signed and framed Jota Celtic shirt. Tickets are $4.95, but not if you use the code 4times10, which gives you 10% off. So that draw ends Thursday at 7:30. The guys over at Football Prizes have a lot of good stuff. One of your listeners actually won a signed and framed Juranovic top. I won an Ange Postecoglou signed top and a match ball by the squad that was signed by the squad, which I gave away to a good friend of mine. So, some great stuff over at Football Prizes. As we says, you can use 4times10 for 10% off. If you want to chance your luck, obviously, if you want a signed Jota top, you can hang it up in your pub, punt it down the barras, do whatever you want with it. So I just wanted to bring that up during the episode. So a big shout out to Football Prizes who are helping us do what we do as well. Just get into Saturday's game. I think Dan touched on it. Ross County on a good run of form. The Mugs, I think they're actually 6 now, so they're fighting for a top 6 place. Everybody's fighting for someone because of how close, for something, seems how close it is. We tend to struggle when we get a chance to put pressure on. I don't know what it is. It's happened against Dundee United, happened at Livy at home, happened against Dundee, where we seem to struggle when we've got a real chance to turn the screw. So hopefully that's not the case on Saturday. Danny, with Jota and Abada fit, are they getting right back into your lineup?
I think Jota will. I don't think Abada will. I think he'll go with Maeda. And Saturday, I think Maeda seems to be the man. I don't think he'll drop Giakoumakis. I think he'll keep Giakoumakis in the team, knowing that County are quite physical up front. But then again saying that, if I can drop Giakoumakis at Livingston, he might go with the team that played at Livingston. I don't know. I would keep Giakoumakis in the team personally. He might bring the two of them back. I would bring Jota back. I think Abada could be quite useful off the bench. Don't get me wrong, I didn't think Forrest was bad last night. I didn't think he was that good against Livingston in the first place. I thought he had a good second off when he took his goal well. It was a great finish. He took it better than well. But I didn't think he was brilliant. And I thought he was quite quiet last night. So I would bring Jota back. I would switch Maeda and Jota kind of put floating between the right and the left, and I'd have Big Jack and Marcus in the middle. And if you want a prediction, I'll go for 3-0 Celtic, and I think Giakoumakis will score, Hatate will score, and Carter Vickers will get the third.
I think Vickers scored the last time we beat them at Celtic Park. It was 3 goals in the second half. It was a tense affair in the end. We won quite easily though. Dan, what's your kind of lineup and prediction? Just a quick thing. I thought Callum McGregor was excellent last night as well. He looked extremely hungry and up for the fight. But aye, Dan, on you go.
Aye, it's a fair point you make about McGregor. I thought he was very good again, and obviously the first goal comes from him, even with the area deflection. He really has grown into his captaincy, and he's just been fantastic the last few weeks, I thought. In terms of the Ross County game, as I said, Ross County are a decent run of form. They're a point off fourth. I mean, like you look at teams around with them, if it was like Hibs or something coming to Celtic Park, you'd be thinking, oh, that's a tough game, so you've got to treat Ross County with the respect that they deserve. I think if we get an early goal, then we'll be a lot more comfortable. As when he's mentioned, when we do have these sort of opportunities to extend a lead, we've made a bit of heavy weather in them. But in terms of Jota and Abada, I know Jota was a slight injury and Abada was an illness. Obviously, you don't know the extent of that. I know it's nothing too serious, but I'd like to see them back. And but at the same time, I think Maeda's playing well. I don't know if he really deserves to be dropped to the bench, and let's sort of favour one of them. Giakoumakis again, as Danny said, he's been playing well. Took his 2 goals last night very well, and when we went behind against Dundee, he was so pivotal in getting us back into the game, and obviously got a hat trick that day. So I think you need to play Giakoumakis, and the midfield that he might freshen up. It'll be probably Callum McGregor in 2 hours. He's been sort of tinkering with that midfield. That I wouldn't be surprised if he did see somebody like Rogic come in, and then I wouldn't mess about too much with the defence. I know he does like to bring Ralston in, so again that wouldn't overly surprise me, but a bit of consistency, I think. As Lenny's mentioned, I think as we get into this sort of business end of the season, then you might see a bit more consistency, especially with an extended period between games that we maybe didn't have a few months ago. I think it'll be 2-0 Celtic, and I think that Giakoumakis and Tom Rogic will get the goals. I know we've been we're probably due to give a team an absolute battering, and hopefully we do that and really send another message out about where we want to go towards the end of the season. But I think getting the win by any means necessary on Saturday is the most important thing, to put that mob under pressure and when they play. But I'm looking forward to it. Always good to get back to Celtic Park, and hopefully we just pile on the pressure.
Aye, and it's set to be a brilliant atmosphere. The fans have been terrific this season, especially their away support, who were in fine voice last night. What's your thoughts going into the game? Obviously, we'll be well up for it. A chance to go 6 clear, but potentially 7 with your goal difference. Huge game. You make many changes for last night's team?
I mean, you don't have to. Certainly, they played well, but I think there will be a bit of rotation. I've got to agree. I reckon if Yotta's fit, he's back in the team. But I would agree it's hard to justify dropping Maeda. I think he really should have had a goal. Obviously the ball in the net was wrongfully chopped off. Scored against Livingston. I think he's really effective at that left-hand side. Particularly in the way he presses the game, and he walks back the way, but his pace off sort of in behind defences, splitting between the fullback and the centre half. He's so quick to get in there. There was a wrongful offside against him, if I remember rightly, as well, making that run. And we've already seen it this season, where he can put a good cross in as well. So a day I could see him starting out left and Yotta out right, who again we've seen be effective out right as well. But I don't see too many changes. If I was to really guess it, if there was 2, I would say there'd be 2, and it would be Yotta back in, and maybe again Rogic to come in for O'Reilly, just to freshen things up and change things about. I reckon there's certain players like they two, the manager will feel are very interchangeable, and he can rely on the both of them, and at any given time they're very similar football players anyway. But I reckon there's that sort of level of trust there, so I think that could happen. But I don't see a lot of changes, Tony. I think the back line will remain the same. McGregor and Hatate will probably remain. Giakoumakis will remain, and Maeda will remain. It's just a couple here and there that I feel we've got suitable replacements for, if anything has changed. But I reckon we'll win 4-1 on the game. I've been buying the drum for long enough. I feel Juranovic is due one. So he'll be on the score sheet. And as well Giakoumakis and Yotta. 3 scorers, 4 goals. Somebody will get 2. We'll go for Yotta.
Cool. For me, I think backline's the same. This is really unlikely to happen, but I would play Ideguchi, O'Reilly and McGregor as my midfield 3. I'd play Ideguchi sitting and I'd press McGregor up. I enjoyed watching him drive yesterday. I still think he can be a goal scoring midfielder. I enjoy watching him there. So for me, that would be my team. I couldn't really say no to bring Jota back in. But then you would need to play Maeda on the right. I don't think Forrest should start. I would go Jota, Maeda and Abada and give Giakoumakis a rest. And then if we need to bring on options, you've got Rogic, you would have Hatate, you would have Forrest and Bailey, blah, 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 Giakoumakis. So I think we'll win 4-0. I think this is a game that will finally going to put a bit of pressure on. Hopefully it is as comfortable as that, but there's been a few tense, nervy moments. And just before we go, I just want to wish friends of yours over in Cyprus, AEL Limassol, who've got a massive game in the Cyprus Cup quarterfinals tomorrow. So just for the lads at Tims, I just want to wish them the very best of luck, and I hope they win. So that's for us to them. All the very best to EAL Limassol. Cheers.